What up, Wichi-talk? Tonight is Wednesday, March 19th, and we're back for another edition of the Wichi-talk Dinner Table. We have the whole cast back. We got DJ Carbon.
What is good, ICT?
We have Annette Lawless.
Hi, how are we doing?
We have Troy Trussell with Live Local.
What's up, Wichita?
We have the city favorite, the Kansas Gastronomist.
What's going on, Eddie?
Wow.
Just raising the roof.
Raising the
roof.
Energy. Here for it.
Big energy today. All right.
Yeah.
This week's weekly swag is from Tacos Chepe. This is a taco truck that is over at 33rd in Arkansas, technically 614 West 33rd Street North. Very, very good tacos. Some call it top 3, top 5, maybe even number 1. But I stopped by and I saw a gentleman wearing a hat, and I'm like, do you guys sell those hats? I've been asked this a lot now. And
You just take their hats.
Yeah.
You're like, here, just get that.
they give me the weirdest look. They go, "What do you need a hat for?" I go, "Well, I just collect hats. I collect local businesses." And yeah, the gentleman handed it to me, and he's like, "Take it." I'm like, "Well, I'll pay you for the hat." He's like, "No, I want you to have it." So I ended up tipping him like $20 for the hat. And I was like,
Nice.
that sounds pretty fair. But then I also made sure to get some good tacos. If you love like lingua, buche, they do al pastor off the spit. Just spit in there and they'll slice it off. Excellent tacos are there. I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, pretty late.
Nice.
So definitely check that one out.
Okay.
All right. So this past weekend, it was quite the weekend. It was St. Patrick's Day. Did everybody get out for a little bit? Check out some of the things going on?
I'm still tired.
I ran in.
So excited.
Yeah, I went out to Delano area. Started the day off there. Ran into TKG for a little bit. I think he might have been one of the only, maybe 3 or 4 people out of the 30,000 plus that were in Delano and NASCAR Park area were not wearing green.
Of course.
And
Naturally.
yeah,
Is anyone surprised here? Come
Did
on.
anybody pinch you?
he
I hope so.
he shows up, and I'm like, this is so on brand. Just non-festive. Ate everything. I'm like, where? You couldn't even wear a green T-shirt.
I looked for a green T-shirt. I couldn't find one, and I just said, "Screw it." I'm
Yeah.
out. I didn't look hard,
Wah, wah,
but
wah.
it was fun.
Yeah.
Eddie, you and I, we hung out for I don't know, hour or two,
Yeah.
and then
wow.
we ended up at Shamrock. And I don't know if you recall exactly what went down, but it was packed. And I'm on one side of that like shuffleboard, like a sardine. We had
So
already
fun.
waited in line for 15 minutes or whatever. We get in, and Eddie's on the other side of the shuffleboard. And I turn to a couple of my other buddies and I say, "We're getting the F out of here. I'm not doing it. I'm too old.
Too many
old.
people wearing green. I don't like this.
I mean,
Damn this holiday.
it reminded me of going to the club, when you're in college, and that's fine. But I'm a grown ass old man now. I don't need that. I'll go there a different time.
95 years old. I don't
have
need
you
this.
always been an old man, TKG? I kind of feel like you have been, like even as a kid. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't have time for none of that.
So bitter.
tomfoolery.
I know.
Oh,
What
yeah.
is this Christmas wrapping on this gift? Just give me the damn gift.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Dead serious, honest truth. I was told, and I kind of remember this, that when I was like a little kid, like 4 or 5 years old, I'd like unwrap my presents, like during the day at Grandma and Grandpa's house, and then I'd put them all into a nice little pile in the corner, and it would just sit there until we went home while all the other kids were like playing with their stuff. I was like,
Aw.
"Oh, it stays here in the corner, and we'll take it home, and we'll deal with it at the appropriate time."
It's kind of polite though. I kind of like it.
On brand. On brand.
Yeah,
on
on brand.
Always on brand.
Carpenter, you're down over at you're all over the place.
Man, well, yeah. For St. Patrick's, so I was with the Wagon Masters. We kicked things off. I started at 9 a.m. It was cold. Oh my god,
yeah.
it was cold.
Yes, it
The day
was.
started. I was, but yeah, no, I saw Troy come by, and it was a good time. We had the beard competition. We had a war cry. We had all kinds of stuff going on. I got to go up in the wind wagon while the cannon was fired, which, I mean, that's a bucket list for me. So I got to see a bunch of the former admirals as well as this year's new appointee, which was great. So, I got a lot of love for the Riverfest folks, and it's always kind of my home away from home. So, but yeah, I didn't go down to Delano for St. Patrick's. I was busy. I did go everywhere else though. We went to Bubbles, Barleycorns, went to Olarny's. I'm going to apologize to anyone I ran into later that day. That's just disclaimer.
I liked your post where you were holding up the beer and you said, "I can't drink all day if I don't start now." I was like, "Yeah, there you go."
That was
accurate.
Accurate. But yeah, no, it was great. I did get down to Delano a few days before. Guild Mortgage, they hosted a little networking event, which is great. Delano's doing a lot of activation with their businesses, so I swung by there, and then also got to check out the new WBC, which is absolutely gorgeous. The new Wichi-talk Brewing Company. I mean, I want that to be the template for all construction going forward. The multi-levels, the outdoor, the indoor. It's just, you want to be there. Like, it's such a cool space. Such a cool space.
Neat.
And then I also got to check out Shot Suite for Selection Sunday because it's NCAA time, baby. I know we'll talk about it, but they did have a little pre-party. The screen that they have in there is twice as tall as me and like the length of this room. That it is massive.
You mean shot clock, right?
Shot clock.
Yes.
Yep. We went to the Shot Suite and now I just get confused. So shot clock.
So cool. That's so cool.
But it's going to be
fun.
That whole area. Again, we'll talk about it, but man, what a time. So I'm stoked. Yeah, over at Rail House, but went there for their Selection Sunday just to check things out. And it's go time, baby.
It's a big week ahead of us.
Yes.
But before that, we're going to move into a quick get to know segment. Probably the most popular host on the show, I think the crowd favorite is Annette.
Oh, that's so sweet. And lie.
It's the truth. It's the truth. So we want to take, 5 to 10 minutes to kind of get to know Annette. She's pretty popular out there, but even like last week when we were talking about, what was that, WCW and WWF?
Yeah.
I would have never taken Annette for like a wrestling fan.
A Sting fan, no less.
Yeah. A Sting person. So I was like,
Loved
we got to get to know Annette a little better.
I mean, yeah.
Diamond Cutter?
Yes.
Diamond. Yeah.
Do you know about DDP yoga?
No, I
You heard about this? So, totally side note. I mean, we're going off another TKG thing. They're like, what the hell? We're doing this again?
An hour long.
DDP is like really big into yoga, and he's been helping like older wrestlers, get their bodies more acclimated and help them heal via yoga.
Yeah, he did Butterbean. He's right now working with Lex Luger, who was in a wheelchair for a long stretch, and getting him up and mobile again now. Like,
he's working with like Jake the Snake Roberts, worked with him for a long time, and Scott Hall before he passed. But so Annette,
I love this conversation. It's so
Annette, first question: tell us another nugget. Tell us one thing that people don't know about you. Like, what's one surprise? What's a surprise talent you might have?
A surprise talent
besides the cinnamon rolls.
I used to play trumpet like growing up. Like I'm musically inclined. That was actually a part of like this past weekend, something that I did. I was in Wichita's Gridiron, so I was a special guest, like their mystery guest. They have a series of mystery guests throughout the show, this 2-hour show, and I was one of the people in it. And so I actually sang in front of the crowd, which is kind of scary. And I played trumpet growing up, loved it. I played it from elementary school to college, and I don't know, I love it. I love music, so it's cool. But I don't know if that's really interesting, but whatever.
What did you sing in Gridiron?
We took the song Creep by Radiohead, and we modified it to fit something more topical. But I don't want to offend anybody with what we did. I mean, Gridiron, as we mentioned last week, it's like a variety show, kind of SNL roast kind of style. So some of the things we do in it are things that are featured in it are a little like very edgy. So it's definitely a very specific crowd that would enjoy it, but it was fun. So I was so honored. I was in it, as well as Chalk
I saw Chalk for The
from Blue
Bachelor.
Golden
Yeah.
Bachelorette. Yeah, he was there. Dalton Glasscock from the Wichita City Council was in it. And the night that, like our final night, Lily Wu was there, and they, of course, she got a rag on your local leader. So it was kind of funny. They had a skit, like kind of dogging her, and there she is in the crowd. But she understands how that is, and I don't think
Sure.
she's deeply offended. And they were fine. So that was fun.
So you
But
said
acting is also something, sorry, that is pretty interesting about me. This is actually interesting. Not that the music thing isn't. But no, I have an acting background. So like when I was in like high school and stuff, I got really involved with like performance arts and speaking competitions and stuff like that. And when I worked in Cleveland many years ago, they have a really big film scene there. So like all of like the big Marvel films, like the Avengers and stuff like that, I'm actually in some of those films as like a background actor or whatever. So you go to like these big casting calls, and they select some people to get like speaking roles and stuff. So you're just hoping to get an opportunity. So I've been in a lot of really, really big films from my Cleveland days. And still today, I do like a lot of voiceover acting. So
So you
a
got
project might call me up, and I've done an audiobook. I've done all sorts of just random things, and it's kind of fun.
so. What film? So if we were to go back and check these films out, so you're visibly in these movies.
Like, yeah, like in the Avengers, in Draft Day, I was a part of that, but they cut like the part that I was supposed to be a part of in this one scene. But it was kind of exciting because Draft Day is a film with Kevin Costner and Jennifer Garner. And Jennifer Garner came and she talked to our group and everything. She's very sweet. I love like the on-set stories. Like that was really fun to experience. She's probably the biggest celebrity that interacted with our small set of like background actors, because we had a small group on Draft Day. And she came and chatted with us a bit, and she paid for like a coffee truck to come and get us all fueled up for the day. They brought in a sushi truck and stuff. Craft services are like the best thing on the planet. So good. So feeding the crew and stuff, they have all the best snacks and great food. So it's a blast, absolute blast.
Wow,
How
That's
come?
cool.
Why do they film in Cleveland? Is it because?
Oh,
I mean,
it's a tax credit thing. So they give a good tax break to film projects. I really wish we had that here. I think they've talked about it here. I could be wrong
Yeah,
for Kansas,
I've
but
heard they talked about it.
nothing's ever really come together. So, boo. But Oklahoma has some sort of deal, I think, because there's a lot of big projects to go through, like OKC and Tulsa. So at least people around us get it.
yeah, because I know Tulsa King. Has anybody ever watched Tulsa King before? Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
part of that's shot in Oklahoma. Part of it was.
Yeah.
I
So a lot
heard
of big
that
stuff goes down there.
I heard they looked at Kansas City first, but they got tax breaks in Oklahoma, so they changed it to Tulsa
Yeah.
King.
We need to change. Wouldn't that be so cool? Like, imagine. I mean, I don't think film projects would like it here because the weather, but like, like the wind particularly, it would
Yeah.
be so horrible. But like, wouldn't that be so awesome? Like to get a big production to come here. Oh my gosh.
I mean, we do have King Kung Fu that was filmed here. Played by
That's
Yeah,
true.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Annette,
So,
I've got some
Annette.
questions about like you and your family. Like, how many siblings do you have? And like,
Mhm.
you're from Wellington, right?
Yeah. So I grew up in Wellington, so just a little south of Wichita, like about, I would say like a half hour's drive. I have two sisters. They're older than me, and we have a bit of an age gap. My middle sister, Rebecca, she's 8 years older than me. And then my oldest sister, Kim, she's 12 years older than me.
Oh
So
wow.
I kind of feel like growing up, I was an only child. But I loved, we have a very cool family. My mom and my dad's a Vietnam War veteran, and he met my mom in Vietnam. So I'm Vietnamese, and my dad was a war medic in the Vietnam War, and my mom was a translator at a hospital. And so that's how they met. So
Huh.
good
Very
time.
cool.
Yeah.
So when did
So
they
it-
when did they come here? Like, how did they end up going to Wellington?
My dad is from Belle Plaine. So growing up not too far from there, he grew up on a farm. He has several siblings. I have five. Well, I have three aunts and two uncles, and big family. But it's kind of wild to think like when my dad and my mom met and they fell in love and everything, like neither family really approved. Like the war wasn't really a very popular war for anyone. No one cared for the Vietnam War. It didn't come to the outcome that everyone would hope for, I guess, or whatever. But they got married there, and then they got married here after. So it's all legit.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, if you weren't in your career now, what would you have done before? Like, what was like the backup plan, or is there anything else you aspired to be?
Yeah. When I went to, so I went to K-State for college. And when I went there, I initially was a political science major. And so it was always my goal to not be a politician, but I wanted to go to law school. And I wanted to go and be something like either a lobbyist or something along like political, like maybe a campaign, like speechwriter or something like that. Like I always felt like I was good with presenting stuff, like putting stuff together and getting people to follow whatever. So I mean, like writing a persuasive speech or whatever. Like I felt like that kind of stuff was more along my talent. So eventually I found journalism and stuff. I realized the political science is super boring. So, I was like, oh, I'll just read the articles in the newspaper. I don't have to actually be involved with them. But yeah, I enjoyed my time there. So K-State was a good school for me for sure.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you aren't a lawyer because, like, some lawyers I know are full of hot air. It's just
Boring. No, just
boring.
teasing.
Oh,
Joking.
God, yeah.
I actually really like a lot of lawyers that I know, Eddie.
Yeah. Oh.
That's good. That's good. All right. Well, I think our 5 minutes is up. That went by pretty quick.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it's fun. A little something about them. So I can't wait to learn more about you guys too.
Get
So
to know
Can't wait to
dinner
learn more
table.
about TKG. It's going to be
I
crazy.
That's
the
gonna
hot
be an
questions.
electric segment right
That's
there.
it's gonna be good. It's
I
gonna
don't
be
know
good.
how we're
Highest
doing
rated
that
segment of all
segment.
time. All right.
We're
Upcoming
gonna need more
events.
lasers and more effects for that. Sorry.
Upcoming events. So this week is pretty much all dedicated towards the NCAA tournament coming to Wichita. I mean, it is a big get for the city to get this tournament
Huge.
here. It takes place Thursday, March 20th, and Saturday, March 22nd. We have some good teams coming in. We have Gonzaga, Georgia, Texas Tech, Houston, UMC Wilmington, Missouri, who travels very well, Drake, SIU Edwardsville. I mean, even with Texas Tech coming, who knows? Patrick Mahomes might come watch his alma mater. He's really
Oh my
supportive.
gosh.
We'll see. No guarantees. I've heard
I don't
nothing
know.
about it, but I know he supports Texas Tech, goes a lot of the games when it's around, and it'd be pretty cool to have him here.
Oh,
It's a good rumor to start. I like it. Yeah.
That would be awesome. Maybe Taylor Swift will end up being in town too. I
Why
love
not?
her.
Say it with such passion, TKG. All right, and then we're going to do a quick run through some of these events taking place. March 19th through the 23rd, Shot Clock at Real House Venue at 400 South Commerce Street. You can catch Carbon there.
And a bunch of my friends too.
Yep. And March 19th through the 22nd is Party Out Front at Arena District ICT off of Waterman. That's right across from Interest Bank Arena, just south of there.
I'll
March,
be there too.
Carbon's going to be everywhere.
He's everywhere. If you don't see him, you're doing it wrong.
I
That's
know.
you need to have that like in a shirt or something. If you're not seeing him, you're doing it wrong, Wichita.
March 19th through the 22nd, Wichita Brewing March Party Garden at 333 South Emporia. On March 20th through the 22nd, you have Courtside at Brick and Mortar at 230 South Topeka. This is just to the west of the arena. That's going to be a big one to go to.
I'll be there.
That's a given. I want to see Carbon everywhere.
Oh
March
my gosh.
20th through the 22nd, the City of Wichita is throwing Fan Fest at NAFSCA Park. Everybody knows where NAFSCA Park's at. Over at Union Station, from March 20th to the 23rd, you can catch the ESPN Fan Zone over at 710 East Douglas. I mean, you have the Union Station area, so they're like the kitchen, the depot / Ziggy's. They're throwing some big party there. And then March 20th through the 22nd, Hoops at the Hudson at 508 South Commerce Street. So, I mean, the whole area is going to be activated.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, that's gonna be
like
fun.
real
Some of the other
public
places, you got like Tor Brewing right there.
Yep.
They've got a whole bunch of
Yeah.
stuff lined up.
Bubble Champagne Bar. Ninth
That place
floor.
is dangerously good. They have champagne shots. Have you seen those? Have you done a champagne shot? A pain bomb or something they're called?
I'm
Yeah.
loving the idea.
Pain bomb.
It's like a champagne. It's like a beer bong with a little bit of champagne. It's just a shot. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. St. Patty's Day. Sorry again. I'm sorry.
Love it.
Oh, man.
Love it. It's still in you.
It's still there.
And then
That's awesome.
outside of that whole area, you have like Mort's, Brickyard, as Carver's mentioned, Tor Brewing. There's going to be a Hoppy Gnome pop up there. There's all sorts of stuff going on for the tournament. I mean, even Wednesday tonight, there's like free entry into the Interest Bank Arena to catch the team's
Oh, yeah.
practice. It's just gonna be a phenomenal time. I'm hoping the weather cooperates, but we'll see.
Oh, I
Yeah, what
know.
time does that start?
Gosh.
The games,
The Wednesday night practices.
so it's all day Wednesday.
All
So
day.
it'll take place early
Just like
today.
all day,
It'll
right?
take place early today, all the way into the evening.
And a little secret for the people who want to know about TV, because I know you're dying to know it. So on TV, like local TV, you're only allowed so many minutes of actual game footage to share, like during the whole day. I think you're given like a 2-minute cap of footage that you can show. So think about that. All the newscasts they have all day long, they can only show a total of 2 minutes of footage. So your newscasters locally, they're going to get so creative with showing. Some people might draw, like sketch things out. They'll probably show fans outside, or they might on Wednesday, they'll be out there filming their butts off, getting all this video because they can show as much practice video as they want. And so they just have to craft things in a totally different way. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. They also can't like share it like within so much, like if the game's still going on and whatever, you can't share stuff until a game's complete, like, and they're moved on to the next game or something like that. It's some weird rule, but whatever. Welcome to TV.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Never knew that.
It's frustrating as all get out. So I've done stuff with they had this rule with Wichita State too. I think when they had their previous what was the old conference, but their old they had kind of
Great
similar
Valley?
rules. Like so you had to wait things out. So whatever.
All right.
Good time. Sorry. There you go.
Oh, that's good. That's a good little nugget. I actually never knew that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you might see like local journalists out there and they're just like their cameras.
So they're recording all this, like probably an hour's worth of footage, only to be able to get out a couple minutes of it.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
just
sad.
going to add to
That's just
Wichita,
sad.
get out and be a part of some of these, even if you don't go to the
Yes.
arena, but like literally all these teams that travel, people come in that follow their teams every year. They come in like they're going to Vegas. Like they come in hot. It is an electric vibe, man. Like you could watch them at home. I know some people like they got their command station, but please come out and be a part of it. Support this so we get it again and again because it is electric. It will be insane just to be around.
So,
Yay.
TKG?
I was just going to say, I remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Carbon, and I was like, hey, just say you're going to go for an hour, and just to do something, and you're going to love it and end up staying longer. But go support for an hour.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what Carbon's alluding to, people really do travel. I mean, I remember following the Shockers, going to like Cleveland, Atlanta, LA, you name it, and just the vibe, the energy outside of the arena and the festivals that are going on. It's infectious. You want to be there. Be there. I'll be there all the time. I think 3 or 4 days outside, hanging out, doing whatever. But yeah, get on out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay.
Things in the community. So the Shockers, speaking of which, made it to the NIT. They fortunately got a bid. Some teams backed out, so we got in. This is being recorded before the game takes place Tuesday night, so I'm hoping we pull out a W. Also, congrats to Cape Mount Carmel. The boys' high school team won the 5A state title, so it's back-to-back titles for Capen, all behind legendary coach Steve Eck. Next up, we have Riverfest just announced their musical lineup. Has anybody seen this one yet? All right, here we go.
Give us the D.
Oh, no.
Drop
I know.
They sent me the press release. It's out on Friday, May 30th. Everclear and Marcy Playground will be headlining the Friday.
I love it. Oh my
Anybody
gosh.
ever seen Everclear Live? They put on a great show.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Also, that
That's good.
same weekend, I think this might be the biggest name on there. It's Flo Rida. He is headed to
I love this too.
Kennedy Plaza stage. Anybody have a favorite Flo Rida song? He's got quite the album. I was looking at it this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, Low has got to be the biggest banger. I mean, the most universal. But
Yeah.
I mean,
What is that song? How does it go?
Low,
Apple bottom jeans, boots
apple
with
bottom
fur.
jeans.
Yeah.
I just wanted somebody to sing it.
Hey, I'm not gonna sing it, but I'll tell you what it is.
Oh, sorry.
With the fur.
What's the song? It's like the club can't handle me right now.
Yep. Club can't handle me. Yep.
Club can't. That's a good chill song. I like that one. Also, that will be in town for Riverfest will be Jamie Johnson, Chris Jansen, Alan Stone, Paramount.
Ooh, Paramount.
That's cool.
So it's going to be
That's a
a
good
pretty
one.
cool time.
That's actually a really cool lineup. I like
Stoked for
that.
Alan Stone too.
Yeah.
Super talented.
And then you got some like local and regional talents. Like Paramount's pretty regional. Jalen Johnson from The Voice will be on the
He
last
killed it at St.
Saturday.
Patty's. He's so good.
Isn't he so like super talented?
His
And-
voice
gosh.
is like so rich and it's
Yeah.
So chill. Great dude. Like
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
just, I'm like, oh man, yeah, I want to
I
hang out
know.
with you more.
My husband met him. He did a TV interview with him, and he was like, he's the most polite guy and just very like real about. And I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
So
That's
good.
cool.
Very fortunate.
So that is Riverfest. VIP tickets will be going on sale soon. Buttons will also be going on sale soon. So check that out. Like, cheap entertainment. I mean, if you're buying your button, you can see, all these acts that you would typically be paying $50, $60, $100 plus for potentially. So, all right.
100%.
Up next, we got Trussell Truth, sponsored by Trussell Media.
All right, in the spirit of March Madness, can anybody tell me when the first tournament was held? What year?
We're talking NCAA tournament, right? Not NIT. Oh man, this would be
Just the first tournament that was March that later became March Madness.
1972.
I was gonna say way earlier than that.
Yeah.
Like in the 50s.
Yeah. So I'll give you a hint. It's before the 50s.
Wow.
But the first tournament was held in 1939.
Wow.
1939.
And it was won by Oregon, and it was the idea of Ohio State coach Harold Olson. And the National Association of Basketball Coaches operated the first tournament for the NCAA. From 1939 to 1950, the NCAA tournament consisted of 8 teams, with each selected from a geographical district. So, a little history there.
Yeah, actually, as I think about it, I remember watching that first tournament.
I bet you probably drove there.
Yeah.
He
No,
complained about parking.
I watched it on ESPN.
Did you protest it too? Like, we don't need tournaments.
We don't need no stinking tournaments.
No fun.
We've got a great war to fight here in a few years.
That's right. Does anybody know the name of Oregon's team back then?
I was going to say the Ducks, but back then it might have been different.
Close.
The Mallards?
The Webfoots.
The webfoot.
Oh,
Yeah, Oregon
I
Webfoots.
should have stuck with that one.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
I kind of dig it.
Fun.
It sounds almost like a minor league baseball team.
I was about to say the same thing. It's giving me minor league vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I could imagine some great apparel with that. The Webfoots. Yeah. That's a
yeah,
unique
it's
one.
pretty cool. Yeah.
I
So
like
there you
that.
have it.
All right. Well,
I'm learning.
we're going to go from happy to sad because it's now time for a stick in TKG's craw. What's bugging you today, TKG?
Yeah, it's not sad. And guess what? It's everyone's favorite time of the week. And this is what is in my craw. Parades. Nobody likes them. The people in the parade, most of them don't even want to be there. The people watching, they're only there because they know somebody in the parade and they want to support the person that doesn't want to be in the parade in the first place. It's truly the epitome of a vicious cycle. And why do people not want to be at the parade? Well, it's pretty obvious. First, it's either so hot you're sweating like it's nobody's business, or it's so dang cold and nasty that you're going to get frostbite. Think about the dumb politicians walking in the summer during primaries, or Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade with those balloons that are super impractical. And second, what exactly is being celebrated? Usually a bunch of nothing. I mean, sure, it makes sense to, quote, walk or march in public in a formal procession or in an ostentatious or attention-seeking way for awesome or amazing things, like when the men and women returned from Europe in the 1940s, or even to honor the 6%, the percentage of U.S. adults that are veterans. But nowadays, There's a parade for everything. And don't get me started with the whole candy thing. A bunch of candy grubbing kids trying to get their sugar rush by yelling, "Over here, over here." This stick in TKG's craw is sponsored by nobody. Back to you, Eddie.
I don't think TKG's ever been down to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. I think he'd have a different take on it.
Did you like turn the TV off during the parade scene of Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Like, what did you? Come on, man, it's iconic.
I think if TKG went down to New Orleans, it would change his mind.
Or he'd probably get in, wake up in a bathtub with no kidneys, because that's happened.
I counted. I've probably been in 30 different parades over my life, and the one thing that they all had in common was that they sucked.
You've been in the parades, or you're watching them.
Oh,
Been in.
You've been in 30?
Probably.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I don't think
Wow,
I've ever been
that's
in
a lot of
one.
parades.
I've never been
I
in
have
one.
to reveal why,
man.
and I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that.
Oh, come
I've
on.
never even been in a parade before.
Hey,
You've never been in a parade?
yeah, I'd never have either.
No.
I'm always the little kid yelling,
Yeah.
"Give me
Oh,
more
yeah.
candy!"
I'm the one looking for candy.
I've been in a parade once in the last year.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, I can't wait.
Hey.
Your question segment coming up is going to be pretty
That's
intense.
right.
So.
We might have to do a dinner table float in the Riverfest parade.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, maybe.
It's
Maybe
gonna be
so.
so hot.
So I've been a part of the Riverfest parade multiple times with some charitable organizations, and it was I DJ'd on the float, and literally,
That's fun.
what did I start with? Donkashane, followed by
Oh.
Twist and Shout, because I had to do my Ferris Bueller. I'm like, I'm on a float and I'm in charge of the music. We're doing Ferris Bueller right now.
There
I mean,
you
it was
go.
amazing. It was amazing.
I don't know how that admiral wears that huge outfit, and that's ridiculous.
Salute to them, legitimately, because that, especially in the summer
Horrible.
heat, like right.
Have you ever? I mean, like being a marching band wearing that, and it's hot,
Yeah.
super hot. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sounds like you didn't want to be there.
I enjoyed marching band. So stop it. And the candy.
I'm still shocked about this 30 parade deal.
I know, right?
I mean, like I've been in a bunch, but not 30. God.
One of these days,
Man.
I'm
one of
pretty
these days I'll
old.
be in a parade. I'll be in a parade one of these days.
Never done it. It's crazy.
Okay. Online shout outs. Laura Gray wants to shout out Reverie Coffee Roasters. She said they are so good at what they do, and their lattes and bakery items are top notch. 10 of 10 experience every time. Cody
10 of
Barnett
10.
wants to shout out Challenge Games. They are the only Paralympic track and field competition in Kansas. Then lastly, Amber Cruz encourages everyone to sign the petition for Sunflower Summer. As you know, that's the app that helps families go to a lot of the attractions and venues around the state for low cost or free.
Mhm.
So the budget's looking to get cut. So the funding, they need help. So please sign the petition. Our guest next week will actually be online to talk about this. So
Great.
be on the lookout for that one.
Important program. A lot
Yeah.
of people use it. So yeah.
It is. I mean, the amount of attractions you get with the sunflower,
It's amazing.
it's phenomenal. I mean, you have Wichita, Hutchinson, Newton. It's all over the state. And
Yeah, and it's really good for big families. I mean, we just found out about it last year and used it a ton this past summer. So, really good deal.
TKG, was there a parade to have the funding cut that you were a part of last week or last year? Is that what you're talking about?
No, but if I could wave a magic wand and defund the parades, I would absolutely do it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
So, what's good in Wichita besides parades? It's time for everyone to come out and give a little shout out. I want to give a shout out to the Wagon Masters and Exclusive. I think the whole stretch of Douglas being activated was amazing to see, and those two groups were largely responsible for a lot of it. Just to see the crowds of people getting out of the house despite the cold weather. I mean, it was chilly that morning. I mean, it slowly kind of warmed up, but I mean, there were spots if you had like a gust of wind, it was cold. And
Yeah.
the work they put in to put on these events is, you can't even put into words how much time it takes. So shout out to them. Thank you for what you all do. I know the Wagon Masters and Exclusive all have big events coming up all throughout the year. I mean, Exclusive does like tacos and tequila. They do the food truck events over at Boathouse. Wagon Masters obviously have the chili cook-off in, was it August or September? So kudos to them. TKG, you have anything
Give
positive?
it
Anything positive?
Yeah, this is positive.
All right.
I'll give a shout out to All Things Barbecue. They were obviously at the Delano St. Patty's Day parade, but they had a little area set up. They were selling hot dogs for $6 with Wichita Animal Action League there, and 100% of the proceeds went to Wichita Animal Action League. So that means that All Things Barbecue donated the food, which is really cool. And I've seen them do this type of stuff frequently. So that's just the latest iteration. But shout out to All Things Barbecue for supporting the community.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Troy.
Yeah, so my shout out, I get this thing called the Editorial Dining Digest. Like, I think it's every week.
I heard it's every Monday. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so just a shout out to you, Eddie. I mean, this thing has really helped me like find new things in town. And for a food blogger, like you do all the research for us, man. It's crazy. So I applaud you, sir. It's really gotten me to, over the years, or since you've been doing this, it's gotten me to a lot of new places. And I probably wouldn't know half the places on this list without you doing this. So, man, kudos to you. Keep up the good work, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I want to give a quick shout out to Landon. I know Landon over at Wichi-talk Live, he's been doing a newsletter for the longest time, and he's been talking to me about newsletters forever. And he's like, you got to help. You got to do the audience. You got to write the newsletter. It takes time, but there's a lot of value in it. And on January 1st, I was like, I'm just going to jump in. And Landon has been a big help. And the beautiful thing about it is he could say no to me and not even help me at all, but because we both have newsletters, but he's all about collaborating, and we do a lot of it together. So much love to Landon over at Wichi-talk Live. It's awesome.
Absolutely. I read both of them every time y'all send them. They're awesome. So,
Carbon.
Well, kind of talk where I was going to go with the Wagmaster exclusive, and also the concept of collaboration over competition, man. We have a lot of people in a lot of lanes. Everyone's trying to do St. Patrick's Day and celebrate it the most. Everyone's doing so many things for NCAA. And I just want to, I salute the ones that are not afraid to give kudos to their next door neighbors and say, yep, we're doing great. Go see them too. Go see them too. Collaboration over competition is the way. And there's a lot of people that are really doing it right. I know a lot of people want their own sandbox and don't like to play with others, but man, we have more than enough in this town going on. We have more than enough opportunities. So get together, link up, and celebrate our wins, man. This is a great city. We are growing in leaps and bounds, and the best way to continue that is to collaborate and share in our wins. There are plenty to be had for all of us. So look forward to more of those things this week with NCAA. You're going to see a whole lot of collaboration and everyone working together to provide the best experience for those in town and those visiting from out of town. So I'm looking forward to Wichita putting its best foot forward and being an amazing show. I want to showcase the city as best we can, and I know we're going to do it this week for a lot of people that'll be their first time here. So really excited for it. Keep working together, keep building, and it's such an amazing place to be.
I mean, your shirt says it all, Carbon.
Yeah.
Watch
yeah.
all win.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right, Annette, take us home.
I want to give a major shout out to my hometown. So Wellington women's, the ladies basketball team for the high school, they won their state championship game this weekend. And it's kind of a really cool story. So first off, winning is great. They defeated Bishop Miege, which I guess they've been like champions for maybe like 5 years in a row. So good. So they defeated them, which is amazing. But there's this one backstory I have to share with you. Okay, first off, the welcome home, amazing. The community came out real late this weekend on Saturday to welcome the girls as they rode back into town. They had a police escort and everything. This footage here is just so cool to share with y'all. And I just love seeing that celebration for them because we don't have a whole lot of in Wellington. They've had a great football program and stuff, but basketball and some other sports just aren't as as celebrated, I feel. But this is an even cooler story. So more than 50 years ago, this woman, Ethel Zika, she was surprised, frustrated, I don't know, but she wanted to go and have a girls basketball team at the high school. They didn't have one. She was surprised. Family had moved up from Oklahoma. They didn't have a team. So she helped create that by petitioning it to the school board. The cool part is now, decades later, she has, and she passed away, which is sad, but she has like great grandkids who were on this championship team. So this woman who
that's
went
very
and
cool.
created that start for this program, her family is still in it and they won. And so can you imagine like the meaning of that to the Zika family? I think that she has like three great grandkids who are a part of it. And I'm just like, dang, that is so cool. Like I'm just in awe and I love that. So I hope you all are enjoying this picture shared here. I just think it's so neat to see. Congrats to them and to everyone. I mean, this is kind of tournament time, championship time, not just NCAA, March Madness. There's just a lot going on. And so congrats to everybody and everybody who didn't make it. That's okay too. You did great. The season's over. Refresh, rebound, go on for next season. Knock it out.
So was there a
congrats.
parade? Was there a parade in Wellington for these girls?
No, but we need one. And
There should be
Definitely,
one.
that would have been a parade.
I think
Definitely.
DKG ought to head that up.
Yeah.
Get one going for
I
him.
mean, it's just remarkable. I mean, can you imagine that? Like that your great had gone and started this, and then they nailed it.
Full
So
circle. Full circle.
Super.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
Spectacular.
That's awesome.
cool.
All right. Well, Annette, TKG, Troy, Carbon, always a pleasure seeing y'all. Hopefully I'll run into you some this week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll be out there.
To the rest of everybody watching at home, thank you. We appreciate you. You've all been excused from the dinner table.